presented by the top defense. If you've been injured, it's Ketchus Law Group. At Ketchus, you pay nothing unless they win at Ketchus Law Group, the official law firm of the New England Patriots. Devin McCourty, how we doing this week?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Ask Devin before we get into
You want to? Should we get into it?
I want to ask Devin.
How often do you go shopping, or does anyone go shopping in the McCourty household? Grocery shopping.
I don't go. I don't go grocery shopping. I feel like my wife goes grocery shopping, like actually leaving the house, old school grocery shopping every once in a while. But I get deliveries to my house daily. Amazon, all that.
Daily. Did you just hear that? Daily.
Yeah. Every couple of weeks she goes grocery shopping.
Yeah, because he has he has new groceries every day in his home.
Right again, Wiggy.
No. What? I don't know if they're all groceries, but there's a package here every day from Amazon.
Oh, that's
like
an Amazon.
Guaranteed.
Yep. See, Dev, I said that most people, my mother, myself, we go grocery shopping every couple of weeks, and we go in giant things and get one big thing.
Buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but everybody in here is like, oh, I go grocery shopping once a week. I'm like, really?
Oh, no. When I was growing up, we used to go to the grocery store, and my grandmother would have 2 carts.
Yep.
And you go grocery shopping, usually when your check come in.
So every 2 weeks, all right.
Yeah.
So you can vote now on Twitch.
Right again.
You can vote. So Devin, we've been talking quite a bit today, and I know these guys have asked you about this in the past about Bill Belichick and his future, and potentially passing on the torch to someone like a Jerod Mayo. There have been reports in the last week or so that there is friction within the coaching staff about Jerod Mayo and how he's carried himself this year. I'm wondering your reaction to that, and if you've heard anything on that front.
Yeah, man, I saw that. I thought that was very awkward. Simply because, like, when I always hear things like that, I first think about, like, all right, who does this benefit? This like leak of information and it comes out. I used to always think it was like always players, and then I realized like it's always somebody with a bigger agenda. So I'm not like I don't understand. For one, I don't understand like what he could irritate people on. Like his role's still the same. So like. He's on the defensive side, so it was kind of awkward and weird to me because it would have to be somebody like deep inside to have any thought of that. Because from a player standpoint and how it seems like it's still working there, is him and Steve are rolling with the defense and they've been running the defense. So I don't understand from an overall standpoint like how he comes into like any type of situation with anybody else. It's not like he's like this step down below Bill where he's like kind of the associate head coach or something where he's doing things. So I thought that was a weird kind of story and thing to come out that like he's rubbing people the wrong way because my guess would be he's been the same. He's almost the weird thing. He's very similar as a player when he's in his coaching style. Like he's always laughing, joking, getting on people. Like that's how he was as a player. So even when he came back into the building, nothing really changed. So people that knew him before was like, man, it's great to have his energy back and how he is in the building. So I haven't heard anything from anybody up there, so I don't know. But it seemed very weird.
Dev, do you think like with Jerod, because I would feel this way, I would want to go – I'm grateful for the opportunity that they gave me, but I would want to go somewhere else so I could prove I'm the only defensive coordinator if that was the situation, or I'm a head coach not following Bill Belichick, not the head coach for the organization that drafted me. Do you believe that there's a little bit of that in him where he maybe wants to go someplace else to prove that he can do it without having to be under Bill or working with Steve Belichick and just on his own?
Yeah, man, that's a tough question. That's something that I've actually thought about, like, even for him. I'm like, you played here, then you came back and you coach here simply from the thought process of, like, hey, like, let's learn something new. Let's see how somebody else operates. Let's see, like, one of these other offenses up close and personal just to kind of get a different perspective. And I remember even talking to him about that a couple of years ago. Does he ever think about that? And, I think the hard thing is, like, I had to, put myself in his shoes is if you get a head coaching job, especially in the NFL as a black coach, you really can't turn that down. Like every year, we're always talking about these crazy stats for black coaches and black GMs, how rare it is that, like, if you get an opportunity to advance in the NFL, it's hard to turn down because you don't know when your next opportunity is going to come. You look at Steve Wilkes, who was the head coach of the Cardinals for 1 year. He gets fired, and he's never gotten another opportunity. So I just think, yes, I think it would be awesome for him to just learn something new, to compile that with all the things he's learned from Coach Belichick, learn from the craft. But I think it would be really hard that if they offer him any type of job, whether it's D coordinator, if it's head coach in the future, like it would be hard to say no to that and just hope that something better happens.
Devin, Bill told us on Monday that he has an open conversation with all of the players on the team. When we asked him, how he's dealing with players being asked week in, week out about his future. You're so closely removed from Bill in this locker room. Can you remember a time where Bill had to address something with you guys and make sure that you guys were prepared for any type of questions you would get from the media?
One thing I always admired about him was anytime there was something – I would say bigger, like call it Deflategate, any of those like high level things that went on in the organization. He would always say, like, just defer any question to me. Like, I'm the head coach. I'll go out there and answer any question that anybody doesn't feel comfortable talking about that doesn't have to do with you kind of going and playing football. So I'm sure right now with, every week it's a question about, will he be here? Well, is this, is that? I'm sure he tells those guys, like, hey, like I remember him saying, like, I'm just like a lot of you. I've been fired before. I've gone through transactions, like all of those ups and downs of the NFL. He's experienced them all. And he'll tell those guys, like, don't feel like you need to defend me. Don't feel like you need to go out of your way. Like, I can always handle myself and what needs to be done. And I've always respected that he's never tried to put any of that on the players. He wants those guys to go out there and play football, focus on what they need to do on the field, and that helps him more than anything is them doing their job. So I'm sure he's told them that. So
do you think these players know if Bill is going to be here next season or not?
Oh, no. I don't think anybody knows that. Like that, obviously, in my time there, that's never been a question. But, yeah, I don't think – and I don't think he talks about that. Like, he's focused on being in the present, and he knows for those players – nothing helps them more than going out there and competing and playing well every single week. His future and all of that has nothing to do with them, and them worrying about his future won't help their future. So I'm sure he's telling them to focus on themselves and making sure no matter what happens to him that they're fine and whatever they need to do next in their careers.
Devin, before we let you go, I'm curious, how is it on Christmas being a twin? Is it competitive? Is it like do you get the same thing? Like how does that work?
Like growing up, we got all of the same things. You have to buy two of everything.
So you get the exact same. You and Jason got the exact same matching things.
Yep, for like clothes, same things. And then once we hit a certain age, like obviously we love football growing up, so we might get a jersey for Christmas where my mom, get different jerseys that we wanted. And then as we got older, our list changed a little bit of what we would, ask Santa for. But like other than that, we would get the same things. Like we get a video game system and, you get one of those, but then you get one game, but you always got to make sure there's two controllers, all those different things, but not super competitive. Like we always shared our stuff. We're like that set of twins that's super close, not the twins that hate each other. So we always got along well unless we were playing one-on-one basketball. Then it could get a little crazy.
So you were never like, man, I can't believe Jason got this and I got that.
Oh, he got that Nerf gun with nice giant clip in it.
Right.
No. I'm telling you, like if there's a Nerf gun, there's two. Like,
same
my
color?
Mom will tell you. For the most part, maybe not. Though that kind of switched up, and then we have to make that decision. But I mean, we were also boys growing up, so like the color wasn't like that serious. Like I have kids now. My daughter will care so much, and my son will be like, it's okay.
All right. Well, Devin McCourty, on behalf of the Greg Hill Show, Merry Christmas. Thanks for taking the time here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man. You guys have a good one.
All right. Devin McCourty, as all our guests, joins us on the Harbor One Hotline.